Being a photographer in 2024 is much different than it was in the past. Even in the last 5 years, it feels like the standards by which we shoot and we create have changed a lot. Being a photographer has and always will be a lot more than just taking photos and then sharing and posting them online. When Instagram first started, it became much easier to share your photos with a worldwide audience, much easier than it ever was in the past. But in recent years, it's shifted to where a photographer is not just expected to take photos, but they're also expected to shoot videos. Not just for Instagram, but for clients as well, because that's what they need to post on Instagram. It's like, if you don't have videos to back up your photos, then what are you even doing? You can still be a photographer, but if you want to actually grow an audience, you have to make reels and other short-form content to support your photos. Which I have mixed feelings about, because if you don't do this, then you're just going to be overshadowed by all of the photographers and creators that are making short-form content. It's easy to become discouraged when all you want to do is take photos and share them online. Personally, I have not found very much success with posting reels on Instagram because I've realized that the algorithm does not support creativity or uniqueness. It trains you to follow trends if you want to be successful. So much to the extent that I feel like the photography takes the backseat compared to the content that surrounds the photos. So the question I have for you is, why do you take photos? I think most of us would say that we are photographers because we love taking photos, and whether Instagram was a thing or not, we would still be photographers. But when you walk out the door with your camera, do you gravitate towards saying, I'm going out to take photos, or I'm going out to shoot content? Because I've been hearing a lot of people say the latter recently. And I think depending on what side of the coin you're on will dictate your longevity in this art form. So is there anything wrong with going out to shoot content? No, but I think we as photographers need to change our perspective. So when you take a photo, you are shooting a single frame. It's up to you what you say with that single frame, and with that, I think photography is the ultimate form of short-form content. I think it all just comes back to why you are actually picking up your camera in the first place and recognizing what your true intentions are. There's nothing wrong with content creation because it exercises your creativity, which is the core pillar of art. But it's so easy to get caught up in the pressure that your next photo or post needs to be better than the last, and creating so much content surrounding that photo that you forget the true purpose of why you were taking photos in the first place. Personally, one of my biggest pitfalls is that with this YouTube channel, I feel the pressure to go out and take photos, but not just bring my photo camera, but my video camera as well. Like if I take some really good photos, but I don't have the video to back it up, then what's the point? And when I do have my video camera with me, it becomes much more difficult to focus on taking photos because I'm also worried about getting decent video shots as well. Don't get me wrong, my photo walk videos are my absolute favorite videos to make. But if I'm just taking photos whenever I'm also filming videos, then what does that make me? Just a content creator. So I think it's important to find a balance. Even now, most of the time when I go out to take photos, it's just me and my photography camera. If I get a collection of photos or find a really cool spot, then maybe I'll go back there and reshoot the photos for a photo walk video. But for the most part, it's just me and my camera, and I don't even worry about my phone. I forget my phone's even in my pocket most of the time. So by the time I get home and edit the photos, and I could just share these on Instagram as photos, I think, ah man, it'd be really cool to be able to make a reel out of this, but I did not get any kind of backup video to support the photos. Which I think is a good and positive thing as a photographer, but a negative thing for Instagram. Because if I was taking these photos and also thinking about my phone, then I would probably be a lot more successful on Instagram. But creating content surrounding my photos is the last thing on my mind when I'm out shooting, and I think that helps keep photography fun and not feel like work. So whether I'm looking through the viewfinder or not, I'm tunnel visioned on the fact that I just want to find and create good photos. And deeming a photo worthy or not to post on Instagram as I shoot it is the last thing on my mind. I think if you are a beginner photographer, then Instagram can be a very toxic platform. Now, I've thought about this a lot, but I think if I were a beginner photographer and I spent even just a little bit of time on Instagram in its current form, then it would be hardwired into my brain that if I want to be a photographer, then I also have to be a content creator as well. There's no difference in 2024. I see a lot of young photographers post reels that are like posting a photo every day until I hit 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 followers. But it seems like they're more concerned with just gaining followers than actually improving their craft. That's just the way I see things, and I know I'm making assumptions, but it worries me that perhaps the reason that people say photography is dying isn't because of AI or anything related to that, but it's because of the perception of what makes a photographer a good photographer. Because I've been there where I take a photo that I'm really proud of, and I'm so excited to share it online, and I plan a specific time of day. I want to do 5 p.m. I'm gonna post the photo then, and I know it's gonna blow up, but then when I actually post it, it ends up flopping and gets a fraction of the likes and the views and the engagement that a normal post of mine would get. And it just makes you feel bad about yourself and your photography. And I think it's at that point for the beginner or hobbyist that you are sabotaging yourself, because what is supposed to be a fun hobby now starts to feel like a job, or you have a certain standard you always need to meet. Because of the constant feeling of needing your next post to be better than the last, and always having that existential dread that your post is going to flop, and you're gonna let that deem whether your photo is a good or bad photo. I got over that feeling years ago on Instagram, but now with this YouTube channel, that feeling's come back in a way, and it's something I currently struggle with. All I'm trying to say is, if you want to grow as a photographer, then you can't let the superficial side of the internet get in between you and your photography. This is an art form that's been around for hundreds of years at this point, way longer than YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok. So just go take photos and have fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is just something that has been on my mind a lot recently, and whether I got my point across or if what I said actually made any sense, I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. But if you did enjoy the video, please like and subscribe to help support the channel, and I hope I could inspire you guys to get out and take more photos. Go out and shoot.